fish we never understood. Eels are among the most familiar animals on Earth, and yet among the least understood. They live in rivers, lakes, estuaries, and oceans, slipping quietly through ecosystems while hiding one of nature's greatest biological mysteries. Humans have caught, eaten, and studied eels for thousands of years, but for most of that time, no one knew where they came from, how they reproduced, or where they went to die. One important clarification before we begin. True eels belong to the order Anguilliformes and should not be confused with electric eels, which are not eels at all, but a type of knife fish. This is the story of real eels, their ancient history, their impossible life cycle, and the questions science still cannot answer. A species that confused history. For centuries, eels defied explanation. Ancient civilizations believed they emerged from river mud or formed spontaneously from decaying matter. Aristotle himself claimed eels had no sex and reproduced without mating, a conclusion that persisted for nearly 2,000 years. The confusion wasn't ignorance, it was observation. No one had ever seen eel eggs. No one had witnessed mating behavior. Dissections revealed no obvious reproductive organs. Even experienced anatomists were left baffled. In medieval Europe, eels were so common they became currency, food, and religious loopholes. Monks ate them during fasting periods because they were believed to be sexless animals. Science, culture, and belief all reinforce the mystery. In the 19th century, scientists became obsessed. Even Sigmund Freud spent months dissecting eels, searching for reproductive organs. He failed. The eel became a biological paradox, an animal everyone knew, but no one truly understood. It wasn't until modern oceanography that the first real answers began to surface. A life that changes shape. Eels live one of the strangest life cycles in the animal kingdom. They begin life not as miniature eels, but as transparent, leaf-shaped larvae called leptocephali. These larvae drift freely through the open ocean, sometimes for years, carried by massive currents. Eventually, they transform into glass eels. Still nearly invisible, but now unmistakably eel-shaped. As they approach coastlines, they darken into elvers and migrate inland, crawling through rivers, wetlands, and lakes. This freshwater stage can last decades. During this time, eels grow slowly, feeding and storing energy, but they do not reproduce. Only once, at the end of their lives, do they change again. Their bodies turn silver, their eyes enlarge, their digestive systems shut down, reproductive organs finally develop. At this point, the eel begins a final, irreversible journey, one it will complete without ever returning. The impossible migration. Freshwater eels undertake one of the most extreme migrations known in nature. European eels travel more than 5,000 kilometers from inland rivers to the open Atlantic. American eels follow a similar route, crossing entire ocean basins. They swim continuously for months without eating, relying entirely on stored fat. Along the way, they navigate dams, pollution, fishing nets, predators, and shifting currents. How they find their way remains uncertain. Evidence suggests eels sense Earth's magnetic field, water chemistry, temperature gradients, and even lunar cycles. No single mechanism fully explains their precision. What's even more remarkable is synchronization. Millions of eels across continents begin migrating at roughly the same time, as if responding to an invisible signal. Once they leave freshwater, there is no turning back. Every eel on this journey is already committed to death. The Sargasso Sea mystery. All evidence points to a single destination: the Sargasso Sea. A vast, borderless region of the Atlantic, defined only by ocean currents. Larvae are found here. Migrating adults move toward it. Yet, no scientist has ever directly observed eel spawning in the wild. No mating behavior. No fertilized eggs. No adults returning. The Sargasso Sea is deep, remote, and difficult to study. Spawning may occur far below the reach of research equipment, or happen quickly before adults die. For centuries, this final chapter of the eel's life has remained invisible, reconstructed only through fragments and absence. It is one of the greatest unresolved mysteries in modern biology. Why eels matter and what we're losing. Eels play a vital role in ecosystems, regulating populations and transporting nutrients between freshwater and marine environments. They are also culturally and economically important across the world. But today, eel populations are collapsing. Dams block migration routes. Pollution damages habitats. Overfishing removes breeding adults. Climate change disrupts the currents larvae depend on. The European eel is now critically endangered. We are losing a species whose life cycle we still do not fully understand. A creature that survived ice ages and mass extinctions may disappear. Not because it failed to adapt, but because we failed to protect it. Eels remind us that even familiar animals can remain deeply mysterious, and that some of nature's most important stories are still unfinished.